mean, lots of people say to me, why are you dancing quadrille? It's an English dance. Why would the enslaved Africans want to dance the quadrille? You know, is it part of the disempowering process that went into slavery? You do as we do, but not, you know, your own. But I thought about that, and I felt that quadrille was not disempowering. In fact, dancing it was empowering, because they had to keep their spirits high. And we talked about the inherent view that dancing has a therapeutic value.
Absolutely.
So they used the English dance to build their communities, because they came from different parts of Africa.
Yes.
They spoke different languages, and they had different, you know, values and beliefs.
Quadrille before, but looking back on what the research I've done, it sort of started in the 17th century in England, then it went to France where it was changed, and then it came back to England, and then it was changed once again, so it's had many changes. But by 1816 almost everybody could dance quadrille in Europe, and it went to various countries in Europe and also in the Americas. It eventually went to the West Indies, and it was taken there by the plantocracy, and they used to dance quadrille when they had their dances.
Our quadrille has evolved over time. Based on our St. Lucian history, we were 7 times French and 7 times English, and that has influenced some of the dances we currently do. But even before we had these ongoing battles between the English and the French, our forefathers came from Africa, and so in formulating our dances, there's a strong African influence in there as well. Several of our dances also have their origins from some of the dances the slaves interpreted whilst peeping through holes and seeing what their colonial masters were doing in their great houses, and they were able to adapt these dances into our own indigenous quadrille traditional music, traditional dances. So a lot of it has been a mixture of our African heritage, what we saw from our colonial masters, what we picked up from the French as well, and it's just a bit of all of our history brought together in one package, which best represents what we as St. Lucian people truly are, which is a makeup of many cultures over time.
We're coming from the same roots, where we were all enslaved people by the Europeans, and we took some of what they had, mixed it with what the enslaved people brought, and put it together. And so you see there are some similarities between the St. Lucians, the Dominicans, because they have their quadrille as well. So it's not just Jamaican and St. Lucians, it's the Caribbean islands. And that's why in our group we've got Barbadian, Trinidadian, just the whole Caribbean is represented. I think one of the things for us is, from Conconte, is how they were able to take the European dance, remembering that they were banned from doing their own dances, using their own languages. They were brought from different parts of Africa, so it wasn't the same tribe or thing, it was different tribes being put together, forced together to get on, and yet they were able to take that dance, mix it with their own, and get on with it, and survived. Use it to survive. And that's what's important for us. One of the things that is important for us, all those lessons that we can learn, how they survived, use that to survive, and how we can use it to survive. Because let's face it, today, our youngsters have got a lot to face.
I see mimicking as very empowering, because if somebody tells me you can't do your own thing and all you see is what they're doing, mimicking is really empowering, and saying, look, I can't do my thing, so I'm going to do yours and do it better and show you.
Yeah.
So mimicking is very positive in the culture at that time. So the quadrille was something new, therefore it was unifying. They all had to learn that together. And so that helped to build their communities and to support each other. What they've said to us, though, is, in their fascination, is how did the slaves remember to do all that when they were so tired? They worked all day, 12, 14 hours every day, except Sunday. And then how did they find time, and how did they remember to do all that in unison?
So I applaud all those organizations like yours, like ours, who work so hard to try to preserve our culture, preserve those traditional dances. I'm sure there will be a debate out there as to whether we should preserve or whether we should allow the dances to evolve over time. And I'm sure that is a debate for another time and another place.
I will add to that to say the dance has evolved, and it is a good thing to evolve, because during that time when our ancestors were dancing it, at the end of slavery, the quadrille became the social dance in Jamaica. And from that, it was pushed aside, and as dances are always evolving, you have the ska, and you have the reggae, and it's always evolving.
I'm not a dancer, and my interest is in the tradition and culture of quadrille, and also I am interested in keeping quadrille alive, because I realize it's a dying art, and if we don't try to work on it to preserve it, it will disappear because of the generations coming over to England. It has not followed some of them, and in fact the majority of our people, and they don't recognize or know their own tradition and culture.